front of the Ware County Courthouse, and I'm with Bobby Ware, President, CEO of Justice League United. I was called over here a few days ago concerning a young lady, and I feel that Mr. Worthy would be better able to tell you and explain to you what this young lady is going through. So Bobby, tell us, just an introduction. First, tell us what you did this morning.
All right. Well, this morning, I filed a criminal complaint with the Ware County Sheriff, the Waycross Police Department, and the District Attorney's Office. And I emailed them this morning, and I also served them physically. We served the Sheriff Department first. We went in turn, served the Captain Hamilton of the Waycross Police Department, had to sit down with him and talk to him about the case. The case was concerning the jurisdictional issues for the city, the county, or the state. In that meanwhile, we left that office and went to the district attorney to serve him. Upon leaving the district attorney's office, Sheriff Randy Roy called me and explained that he got the letter. He has called the DA, and the recommendations that they was going to come in was let the city, the Sheriff Department, the Waycross Police Department handle it. So I called Captain Hamilton. So I'm gonna wait to hear from him and the chief, hopefully between today and tomorrow. And that's what we did today. Basically, we served everybody today. We notified all the news media.
What does this involve? What organization does it involve, or agency?
I'm the national president for the Justice League United, former Minnesota Law and Justice for the Black Panther Party. And I just, when I heard about this case, it was brought to me by Judge Paul Nally, former Judge Paul Nally, and he thought that I'd be very interested in this case since this lady was down here in this area.
Did he lend a helping hand, or did he try to assist you in any way?
Judge Mal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Judge helped me a lot. He pointed me in some right directions and some keynotes on different issues. And we're not done yet. Today we just filed a criminal complaint to issue an investigation.
This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Foster Rhymes. I'm over in Waycross, Ware County, and we're standing in front of the juvenile courts, and they got a noise going on here, so we're gonna move over to the county courthouse so we can tell this story. I was called over here yesterday. It's a very important case concerning Dept. I think that everybody should know about it. So once again, I'm asking you all to just, let's take time out and let's go over to the courthouse and let's record. And I want this young lady here to tell her story to the people of Ware County, the state of Georgia, and across the world. We're in front of the Ware County Courthouse, and I'm with Bobby Worthy, President, CEO of Justice League United. I was called over here a few days ago concerning a young lady, and I feel that Mr. Worthy would be better able to tell you and explain to you what this young lady is going through. So Bobby, tell us, just an introduction. First, tell us what you did this morning.
All right. Well, this morning, I filed a criminal complaint with the Ware County Sheriff, the Waycross Police Department, and the District Attorney's Office. And I emailed them this morning, and I also served them physically. We served the Sheriff Department first. We went in turn, served the Captain Hamilton of the Waycross Police Department, had to sit down with him and talk to him about the case. The case was concerning the jurisdictional issues for the city, the county, or the state. In that meanwhile, we left that office and went to the district attorney to serve him. Upon leaving the district attorney's office, Sheriff Randy Roy called me and explained that he got the letter. He has called the DA, and the recommendations that they was going to come in was let the city, the Sheriff Department, the Waycross Police Department handle it. So I called Captain Hamilton. So I'm gonna wait to hear from him and the chief, hopefully between today and tomorrow. And that's what we did today. Basically, We served everybody today. We notified all the news media.
What does this involve? What organization does it in, or agency?
All right, I'm the national president for the Justice League United. I'm the former minister of law and justice for the New Black Panther Party. And I just, when I heard about this case, it was brought to me about Judge Paul Nally, former Judge Paul Nally, and he thought that I'd be very interested in this case since this lady was down here in this area.
Did he lend a helping hand, or did he try to assist you in any way?
Judge Mal?
Yeah.
Nally? Oh yeah, Judge helped me a lot. He pointed me in some right directions and some keynotes on different issues. And we're not done yet. Today we just filed a criminal complaint to issue an investigation against the Dfcs office, and I'll go into details with that. What it is Mrs. Jennifer Probes, right? Ms. Jennifer Probes is a single mother that came to me, and yeah, y'all, I help white people too. So y'all can get off that racist thing. Yeah. Hey, Judge, how's it going?
Good, man. Hey,
all right.
You gonna be on TV?
Huh?
You gonna be on TV?
Yeah. They supposed to be coming too. Yeah, you gonna look at me? Hey, now listen, man, you gotta talk though, cause I found out, man, you doing some good stuff that I didn't know about.
I try hard. All
right. That's the state court judge, y'all. Judge Gibson. But anyway, her child was taken by Dfcs under false pretense and a lie, a complete lie, and there's documentation to prove this. They basically said that her child tested positive for drugs. That they tested the child for drugs. They said that she tested positive drugs.
They who? Let's use them acronym then.
Okay, they was the Family Department of Family and Children Services social workers.
That works for Dfcs?
Work for Dfcs. Jeannie Murray. And Tamia Isman. Willfully and intentionally falsified documents to take her child from her under false pretense. Now, they said her child was taken because of drugs and because she tested positive. This was a complete fabricated lie. Her attorney, which is Sean Simmons, basically told her if she presented this evidence to the judge, that the judge might not present evidence, the truth. Now the truth will set you free. If she presented the truth to the judge might have an adverse effect and take her children. Take her children for telling the truth. To terminate her rights for her child, because her child is family trying to adopt her child out. Now, either one thing with it, what's his name? Judge is
Jeffrey Parker.
The
judge is Jeffrey Parker.
Jeffrey Parker is a juvenile judge. Now, either one or two things happen. Either the juvenile judge knows about this, and he is just as Jeffrey Parker, he is just as guilty as the Dfcs worker. And if he knew about this, and the attorney knew about this, then it takes it to a new level that involves conspiracy. And according to the U.S. Title 18, Section 241, that is a federal crime that carries 10 years imprisonment. Not only that, it could be a federal racketeering RICO violation. This is conspiracy at the highest level. People, you understand this. You got to watch these Dfcs workers now. They do not own your children. Now, and I'm gonna set it straight. There is no justice in this country when the government agents that we empower can just say, I can come in your house and take your children. I can fabricate lies and take your children, and then the judges and the prosecutors accept that.
Okay, let's think. I got you. But let's think. Give us a little more about your case. Let's not get out too far.
Okay, and again, there's an expert witness, Miss Melissa Alvarez. She is an expert on drug tests. She has viewed both documents from both hospitals, Wayne County and Ware County, right? Wayne Memorial. And she has viewed all those documents, and there is no test that exists, drug tests, and she's an expert, drug test that exists for that child. So the Family and Children Service people lied, completely fabricated that to illegally take her child. Now, what I to legally take her child. Now, on top of that, now the family is trying to adopt her child and terminate her rights, has filed a petition to terminate her rights, and these people are backing this.
Does she currently have the child? Where's the child today? You need to clarify that. Go ahead, tell
The child is in Tifton, Georgia, with the foster parents. Can I say their names?
I would not. No.
Okay. He's in Tifton, Georgia, with or in Turner County, Georgia, which is near Tifton, Georgia, with a family that's had him since he was about 2 months old. It's the second foster home he was in, and they are the ones that actually filed to terminate my rights because they want to adopt my child. So I mean, of course they want to terminate my rights because then they get to adopt him. So the foster parents are the ones that actually filed to terminate my rights, not Dfcs, because I've done completed everything Dfcs asked.
But with that said, even though she completed the illegal acts that was forced on her because they lied in the beginning of it, she completed the process. They still have not returned her child. Once she completed what they wanted to do, even though what they wanted her to do, all the classes and all the stuff that she took was illegal in the first place because they lied. They falsified documents to take her child. So she completed something that she really didn't have to do, and they still didn't give her child back.
Just for clarification, what do you mean when you say that falsified? What documentation do you have, if anything, to prove that somebody made a mistake?
I have my drug test from the hospital, and I was negative for all drugs. And I have all the baby's medical records from the hospital, and no drug test is anywhere included in it.
Okay, give me your name again.
Jennifer Probst.
Jennifer, when we sat down to talk, you told me something about some dates that was of concern to you. You know, you said something about it was before the. What point was you trying to make with me the other day?
Okay, the original dependency petition that they filed states that on February 10th, 2017, the department received a report stating that my child was born positive for methamphetamine, and my child was not even born until April 7th. My kid wasn't even born yet in February.
You say your child wasn't even born?
No, sir. He
Well,
wasn't born until several months later.
That disparity in documentation, did you bring that up to anybody?
I have.
And if so, what happened?
I brought it up to the people at Dfcs, and they told me that it wasn't a big deal. It was just a typo, not to worry about it. And 2 years later, they still hadn't even recognized it or fixed it. And I went to the man that signed the documents, who's in Homerville, Chuck Reddick, and I pointed it out to him, and he told me that it wasn't it was no big deal. It wasn't a problem, not to worry about it.
Okay, so anything else you have in terms of what you think was unfair to you?
My mother also petitioned to get my child out of foster care over a year ago and hired her
What's
own
her
lawyer,
name?
Linda Probst.
She did what now?
She filed to intervene.
And did she do it in writing?
Yes, sir. She had her own lawyer do it and everything. And she's been to court, several times, and they denied her own grandchild.
Does she have any children that she's taking care of there in the home?
Yes, sir. She has custody of my 14-year-old that lives there in that same home, and Dfcs knows that. And Dfcs also just placed my brother's child with her probably over a month or so ago, and came and walked through that home and said that it was fine, that child could stay there, but they wouldn't let her have my child.
Well, why do you think I'm being honest with you, and maybe getting in some business in circles I shouldn't be in, but what makes you think that the family in Tifton want your child so bad? I mean, why do you think they want?
They've admitted in court that they want to adopt my child, and then by them hiring their own lawyer coming to file to intervene in my case, and the judge approving it, and then them turning right around and filing for termination of my rights, is because they want to adopt my child.
And one other thing, and you go. Okay. Why are you so concerned about, when you call me, to get this word out to the public? And I'm gonna let Bobby Worthy explain, because he did call. This is an official press conference. I want him to talk about that, because this is what I've been saying. You can talk black, white, red, brown, but when it comes down to the news media publishing the truth of what goes on in South Georgia, and I travel the whole state, and we can't get anybody to publish the real news. So my question to you is,
I have tried to get help from everybody. I've been to the sheriff's office to talk to the sheriff. He wouldn't call me back. I've been to the Dfcs office to talk to the people in Dfcs. I've been to the lawyer's offices to talk. Nobody will help me. Until I got a hold of Mr. Paul Nally and Bobby Worthy, nobody was helping me. And, you know, until now, I hadn't had much help.
Bobby, I drove from Valdosta a couple of days ago because I was called about this issue. And my slogan is, I report what others ignore. But did you call any newspaper or TV stations to be at this press conference this evening? And if so, when will they arrive?
They have arrived to Ghetto Free Press. But yes, I called Jacksonville News, Channel 4, Fox 30. I called all the 3 local stations in Jacksonville. Channel 4 News did call me, so I assumed they was going to be here, but I guess a no-show. But I guess they'll show up once they put handcuffs on somebody and arrest them.
Okay. Have you not worked with these news people before? They have come because we've been in Jacksonville and they came.
Yeah.
So why do you think they didn't come here today?
I mean, beats me, man. I guess they choose and pick what kind of story they want to pull. And I sent them documentation. Mm-hmm. Not to mention now that we didn't get off, so we didn't even talk about, and I talked about this with Captain Hamilton while you was in the office. Now, we didn't even talk about the Dfcs workers. 2 Dfcs workers at a wedding with a minor with a beer in her hand, with a beer can in her hand, with possession of a beer can in. I mean, this is Dfcs workers. 2 Dfcs workers was led at this party, and there's a minor child standing right there beside them holding a beer. Please explain that one to me. Why these people ain't in jail? And then they come out and falsify documents and take your children. This is getting ridiculous that the government that we empower, that they can come in and do whatever they want when they want to, because they want to, under pretense of a lie, and they don't even check it out just under a lie from a blundering fool. Now, she's been calm and long, but that was me. Lord, I just understand it. I would go get my child under force if necessary.
Jennifer, you made a statement to me that, and I'm not sure, maybe I got it wrong, but you said something about an attorney telling you that he couldn't present something. What was that all about?
He told me that if we presented, that if we demanded that they show us a drug test that my child failed, or if we bring up the fact that there's not even a drug test that my child failed in the medical reports, that the judge would automatically terminate my rights.
And so you do have that legal document?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else you all want to add?
And I want to add this here. While they took her child by lies and pretense and force, she's paying child support. They forcing her to pay child support on a child that they took illegally in the first place. Mm-hmm. And now they're trying to terminate her rights. Mm-hmm. Okay. And how much you paying a month?
I think it's supposed to be $240 a month, and I just pay what I can on it.
And she's struggling. She works at Captain Joe's, man. You know they ain't making no money at Captain Joe.
Okay.
So not the money that they need to support a family like that, and then support child support of a woman that already. And I'm not gonna say her name now, but it's coming out once I get a financial record. It seems that money plays a part in everything in this world. The more money you got, the more things you can achieve, because these people have money and she does not, and they're using that to their advantage.
Jennifer, if you can, as you know, I got 4,000 views on my channel, and I got over almost 2 million views, and so I'm pretty known across the state of Georgia as well as in Washington, D.C. So the point I want to make with you is this. Can you give us some type of phone number just in case somebody would want to hear your story other than Bobby Worthy?
My phone number?
Yes.
912-548-7784.
Thank you very much. Any more?
Yeah, and we would like to call this her daughter in. Larry, come in. We got Larry here with the NAACP. He always here. He always shows up to support everything. I just briefed him on this case since last night, so now he's involved with it. And what I understand, the Dfcs is, tell me what you said earlier, that the children that Dfcs allow you to adopt as her and you her daughter.
Okay, well, when me and my husband had been married about a year, his ex-wife had a Dfcs case and lost custody of their daughter. So that was, at the time, my stepdaughter. Dfcs removed my stepdaughter from her mother and placed her in the home with me and my husband. Proved us fit. Our household passed. We got groceries. We were able to get rid of her headlights. We were able to get her attendance up in school. And they completed the case plan, and she's been with us for 3 years now. That was Brantley County Dfcs that placed her with us, but still, Dfcs is Dfcs, and we have not had another problem with them. My daughter is my daughter. She lives with us and is perfectly happy. And also, my grandmother has just gotten custody of my mother's brother's child. So my little cousin, my grandmother's grandchild, so one grandchild she was denied for, and we're fixing to lose him. If no one listens, then they're gonna adopt him out, and we'll never see him again. All on a lie. My grandmother was good enough for Aubrey, who is 7 years old and already had some issues, so they didn't want to adopt her out. But now my newborn brother, they wanted to adopt him. They knew they could make money on him, and if they have it their way, we will not get him back. If no one listens, we lose a part of our family.
And you had a family member who was willing.
Yes, my grandmother has been there every step of the way. She's retired now. There's nothing stopping her from raising my little brother. If they could, in fact, prove my mom was unfit, which can't happen, it's all a lie. But if they were not satisfied with my mom taking my little brother, my grandmother has custody of my little sister because that's where she chooses. And my grandmother has custody of my cousin, my mother's brother's child. My grandmother has fought every step of the way. She's hired her own lawyer, spent her own money out of pocket, took trips and gas money. They've never offered her any sort of transportation or help. She has to drive all the way to Tifton to see this child and to see my brother. And even when she gets there, sometimes she's not allowed to visit because it's not approved, or the foster family has plans, or the other foster children in the home are sick. The foster parents can't get out right then. So we're dennied even the little bit of visits we do get. And everything we do is under tyranny rule. We have to do exactly what they say. We can't feed him ice cream. The foster parents don't like that. We can't give him yogurt snacks. The foster parents want him to eat lunch when we get him home. Every single time we visit, we can't even treat him as if he's our own family. He has to be treated as as he's not ours. As if he belongs to the foster parents. We even went as far as for the transport lady. I won't name her name right now, but the transport lady, as Colton come down the slide one day, she said, "Oh, Colton, you have a tractor? Your daddy's got a tractor." The foster father has a tractor. That is not his daddy. That is a foster parent. That is no family to him. We are his family and we want him. But he's being sold. The county is planning on collecting money to adopt him out when he has a loving family. My mom might only be a single mom, but she has our support. We'll all stand together.
Let me say this to you. If the Georgia Associated Press, if the news media would have been here today, would it have made you feel better? Or knowing that your story will reach maybe the people on nightly news after they investigate your proof and your documentation, don't you think that would have made you feel better today?
Yes, it would make the world to me. It would mean the world to me if as many people could just hear our story and hear the nightmare we've been through. When this happened, we didn't think it was real. We thought maybe a week or two and they're going to come to their senses. We'll get him home. This cannot be real. We've jumped through every hoop for over 2 years now with them dangling him over our heads. Just do a little more, we'll give him back. They don't plan on giving him back. They plan on taking him from us. And I need as many people to hear this story, to share this story, to pray about this story, because we need help.
Any closing remarks, Mom?
We need all the help we can get. Anybody that might can help. And anybody else with a Dfcs case that's been wrong here in Ware County, they need to come forward and corroborate our story and tell their story too. That, this is really happening, this is what they're doing, and, bring it out in the open, everything that they've done wrong to them too.
Now, in closing, these are my final words. Based upon what I do, and I'm criticized for it. Last week, I was called a race baiter because I exposed the truth. So, what I want to say is that I want to thank you for having the courage to stand up for your child, because too many American citizens, whether they are in the church, out of the church, or in back of the church, they are too afraid to stand up against many agencies. So I want to commend you. The Get To Free Press send you a personal thank you for standing up. I want to thank God for Judge Nally. I want to thank God for Bobby Worthy.
Yes.
I want to thank God for Larry O'Hara. And my beautiful sister, I want to thank you because you're only 24, but you speak very strong. I don't believe that there's too much fear in your neighborhood. Now, Brother O'Hara, I'm going to let you say a few words.
Based on my experience in the NAACP, this is not the first case I've seen like this. They are not quite like this, but there are a lot of cases similar. There's a case of one with grandparents. Grandparents had their children, they was making a small amount of money a month, and they said that wasn't enough to take care of that child, so they took those children, it was 3 of them, and gave them to other families. And the grandparents had custody for them, but just like on the weekend, 1 weekend a month. And those children went crazy. I mean, the people that they gave them to didn't treat them as well as the parents that they had before. They weren't as clean, and I'm going to reach that family, and so they can get in touch with this family. And what we're going to do is many families we can find in the state of Georgia, we're going to try to get them down here and have another press conference with the other people so they can tell their story. I don't think it's right because you got money, you can take anybody's child you want. It shouldn't be like that.
Can we have your phone number just in case somebody want to call in?
Mine?
No, yours.
Oh, my
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
My number is 912-286-8176.
Once again.
912-286-8176. You would be surprised at how many families is getting treated this same way, and how many families out there looking for babies. They don't want older kids, they want babies. The younger the better, and they get those, they can raise them as their own. But when you get older foster children, they pretty much set in their ways. That's why they want your child.
This foster
Because it's
family
baby.
admitted in court that they only take in babies, that they won't take in older kids. One time they took in a 4-year-old, and they said that was a horrible experience, that now they'll only take babies, up, I think up to 1 or 2 years old, and that's it. They only want babies. They won't take teenagers or 4-year-olds.
If you're having problems out there like this, please call me, call this young lady, call Bobby Worthy, or the Ghetto Free Press. Call them or text them and let them know we really need to beat this case because it's getting out of hand. The first case I saw was about 4 years ago, and I've been hearing more and more cases like this. We cannot let agencies take over our children.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, he did a little talk, but Bobby, once again, I want this to be the last thing. Why are you here today?
Well, I am taking justice where injustice is. I'm here.
I'm only asking that because I want to do a recap, so this will be the last.
Okay, I'm here because of the fact is that this young lady, under the falsification, lies, willful and intent of government employees with the Department of Human Services, under the Family and Children Services, have completely fabricated a lie to a judge. And if they in this format, they probably did an affidavit, or formatted an affidavit to this point, completely lied to illegally incarcerate. My thing is, if they did it once, they done did it before, and they're doing it again. And no time how many times that it has been done in the past by not just these DFACS workers, but all across the state. The stuff they pulling with child support services, and they've given the government and people are giving too much power. And let me tell y'all something. They came up with, I'm gonna leave it at this in closing. There's a document that I've read that clearly states, when any form of government becomes destructive of its ends, the power reverts back to the people. It is up to the people to alter, abolish, or institute a new government. And I'm telling you now, in the United Snakes of America, y'all are on the borderline of being demolished.
My beautiful sister, closing remarks. Why are you here today short form? You could be doing something else.
Me or Chrissy?
What is the purpose of you here? Why does it concern you?
I'm here because I think it needs to be brought to everybody's attention, because just like he just said, if it's happening to me, it's happening to other people, and if people don't stand up and tell the truth and bring it out in the open, nobody's going to know. And I need my child back. I love my child, and I'm going to fight for my family. I'm going to fight for my child. They can't just take my child and expect me to just go hide and cry about it, or lay down and just let them do it. I'm going to fight.
That's my brother. That's my mama. I'm not going to let anybody just run off with him. They're going to have to show evidence. They're going to have to explain to as many people as I can get to ask. I'm going to have as many people hear the story as I can. I'm going to share it. I'm going to type it. I'm going to speak about it. And eventually, God's going to send the right person by.
Thank you very much. Once again, this is the Get To Free Press. I'm George Boston Rhines, and whether you all know it or not, I'm called a race beta. But as you know, I'm going from Bentonville, Arkansas. My name flashed in Washington, D.C. I've covered Equipment 10+2, and I'm going to cover you if you call me, because it's the right thing to do. In this country, it was founded, they say, upon freedom of religion, freedom of the press, your right to vote, and your right to freedom of movement. And when we sit back, and if the pastors and religious leaders sit back and Dept, they do that dance called the Dept. They duplicate Jesus. They imitate Jesus. They placate Jesus in the churches, in the mosques, and the synagogue. But when it come to standing up on the square of the word of truth, they are nowhere to be found. I want to thank God that we found some people here today that are willing to not Dept. They want you to know the truth. They do not want you deaf, dumb, and blind to the time. And I'm hoping that another press conference can be called, and just maybe the news media will show up, because after all, you have a right to know. This is the Get To Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines. I just went inside of the DFACS office, and I wanted to talk to someone here about the case that I'm about to post on YouTube. As you know, there was a press conference that was called. No news media showed up, but because I care about you, the American people, in the state of Georgia in particular, I report what others ignore. And so although the other news media did not show up, I was there. So I came to the DFACS office here in Waycross, Hilltop Center, and I was referred to a Miss Taylor, who is the office manager, and she did not want to talk about anything. And so this is why I can't get the other side of the story, but don't worry about that, because Jesus said, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free." And what I want to give you now is nothing more the truth. So get ready, get ready, get ready.